Hello and welcome back to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah and today I'm doing a reading for the sign of Cancer for the time period of July 1st through the 15th. So the first 2 weeks in July. Please remember this is a general reading. There may be some parts that do not resonate with you. Please take the parts that do resonate and leave the rest behind. Also, please remember that I already meditated on the cards and I have shuffled them, and this is the spread that I have for you today. In the past, we've got the Two of Pentacles. In the obstacle position, we've got the King of Wands, Judgment in the present, and Three of Swords in the future outcome position. So in the past position, we've got Two of Pentacles, which is a juggling kind of card. It's juggling priorities, juggling things that you're responsible for, juggling people maybe. The Two of Pentacles is two halves of one whole. It's a card about duality, male and female, ups and downs, good and bad. But it is a generally good card. It suggests that you may have moved locations in the past and, that caused you to change as a person. You've grown from that experience and became, you took away positive things from that experience. It could also suggest that recently you had something work out in your favor because you used a different approach than what is traditional. For example, the Nine of Pentacles is definitely a lavish, luxurious kind of card, very positive card. It's a person who is well-to-do, who has earned a lifestyle to which they are accustomed to. It's definitely a good a lifestyle. You are very happy with that lifestyle. The card represents a woman who is dressed in luxurious clothing, and it could also mean that you maybe had a nice childhood. It could mean that you've experienced something positive in the recent weeks and months. But the general combination is very positive. It suggests that you are able to manipulate your lifestyles with ease. It doesn't cause you as much worrying as it would, for example, a different person. It does suggest that you adapting to changes kind of leads to rewards. Balancing priorities could also lead to rewards, but there is a bit of a warning that with this Nine of Pentacles, that there may be some memories in the past that you may not want to revisit. So that's the only warning that I think just to keep in mind. In the negative position, you have the King of Wands, who is definitely an accomplished person, a person who has achieved a certain status, who is quite comfortable, very pleasant person. He attracts people. In the clarifying position, we've got the Ten of Swords, which is, of course, a card of 10 is usually completion. So the swords, of course, energy is here very negative, but in this position, the Ten of Swords means that you in the past had a difficult experience. And this Ten of Swords in this negative position means that you're allowing that past bad experience to hold you back. So this is more about you being stuck in the past because you remember the unpleasant memories, unpleasant experience of when something didn't happen the way you thought it was going to happen. You clearly went through a bit of trauma, and so it's affecting you. It's making you be stuck in the past. The past, this combination here is the past is dictating your future. You seem to kind of be a little bit in fear, which is natural, and that fear is taken hold a little bit. It's controlling your attitude, it's controlling your words, it's controlling your emotions. The King of Wands, in the negative position, he can be quite pushy, and he can be quite arrogant, and he's not the nicest person to deal with. And definitely there are issues in like love, not the best card for a relationship or like a love interest or what have you. This is a black and white type of person, who is I'm always right, type of person. Not the most pleasant of individuals, and each and every one of us can have feminine energy, masculine energy, and of course, this is a leader, and in the combination with the Ten of Swords, it could be that your fear of that past event is leading you to leadership failure, is leading you to collapse of a established structure of some kind. But it's definitely a serious thing, because it tells me that you have not worked through whatever that experience you had. You maybe it would be good for you to go back and address it and work through it and understand all aspects and grow from it. But you cannot grow from it if you do not actually address it and work through it, which can be daunting depending on how it was clearly something not so good, because they say time heals all wounds, but it's clearly is not healed. In the present position, you have Judgment and the Four of Wands reversed. In the normal position, the Four of Wands is a card of celebration, of gathering, definitely happy family, happy work life. But in the reverse, it means, of course, disruption. So instead of celebration, there is no celebration. Instead of happy gathering, there is no happy gathering. There is something that is energy blocking, There's a definite energy blockage here. Judgment is a card of resurrection. It could be about forgiveness, and I think it is here. Definitely the divine wants you to work maybe on some forgiveness, work on letting go, which can be quite difficult, quite impossible. You really have to work through it in order to let go. And the way you let go is you do it, you work through that past traumatic experience one little bit at a time. It really is work. I mean, there's a reason why that word is usually used. But it symbolizes change. It symbolizes letting go and forgiving people, circumstances, and also in the combination here with the Four of Wands, I mean, there's a group of people in this card, and so there is a little bit of an energy that somebody from a group of people that surrounds you, maybe your immediate family, maybe someone at work, is going to call you out on something, or maybe present to you a piece of information that you may have thought was not out in the open. But there's definitely some kind of judgment. You may receive, I mean, this is also a card of really good karma. In each, because we're human, we have good sides and bad sides. And so judgment usually means that, yes, there will be something good that is going to happen, but there's also going to be something negative. And the reason I am leaning towards negative is because the Four of Wands is in reverse. And I think it's not going to be something you like, and it's not going to be something that you are going to be really happy about. So there's some kind of loose end that you didn't clean up. So there may have been a mistake. There may have been something that you said that was something that shouldn't have been said, but clearly, something is coming to light, definitely in the first 2 weeks of July. There will be some kind of unexpected, maybe unpredictable, maybe kind of out of left field, that's gonna something is going to come at you, and we know that it's probably going to be negative. The Three of Swords is definitely a card of, they say it's the swords here represent words, and the same as here. The swords represent words, so it's like death by 1,000 cuts. Each word cuts you. Each remark is hurtful, and so clearly, this is a card of hurt, of betrayal. The good thing about Three of Swords in the future position is that it may be prudent for you to look around, and see, who could possibly betray you, maybe, and see, just kind of like play the scenario throughout your mind. See whose betrayal would affect you the most, and what would be the next steps. How would you go about recovering? How would you go about rebuilding? What would drastically change? If you kind of work through that in a detached sort of way, I think that will definitely, this is more of a warning, because it, hasn't technically happened yet. Two of Swords is a card of a person who is kind of willingly blinded, who self-inflicted the blindness. Maybe there is something you don't want to see, because if you don't see it, maybe it'll go away. There's something that you want to ignore willfully, and of course there's also some piece of information that is unknown to you, because you've got the moon, which always represents, is a symbolic of secretive, something that you don't know. And the Two Swords generally suggest that there's a decision that is going to be made. I think that the future outcome, the Three of Swords, suggests that there's something you're holding on from your past, that has been a big experience, not a big experience, a bad experience. You're kind of, maybe, this combination would definitely be wallowing in self-pity, but hopefully you would be able to deflect some of this hurt, and sadness, but definitely in the future outcome, there's a little bit of avoidance of dealing with something. Let's see if the energy oracles can clear some of this up. I pulled 2 energy oracle cards from the deck, and this is what we've got. Storm warning. Third chakra, Archangel Chamuel. So what do you do when there is a storm warning? You shut your windows. You make sure there is enough water to ride out the storm. You buy batteries. You make sure that that your pets are taken care of, that everybody in your household, is taken care of. Maybe you leave. Maybe you pack up your bag and get in the car and go to safer ground. But there's definitely a storm warning. There's definitely something. There's a big, huge warning. And it doesn't necessarily, time is relative. It doesn't have to be July 1st through the 15th. It is approximately right around that time. For some people, it could be sooner. For some people, it could be a little bit later. It's definitely going to be, some of it is going to be a little bit kind of not expected. But the storm warning card indicates a potential difficulty either in the external world or within yourself in your emotional life. The difficulty is coming closer, and you may have already heard rumblings of potential problems around you. The caution here is to be conscious yet not fearful. There's a difference between panic and fear. When you start to panic, you don't act rationally. Your thoughts start racing, your heartbeat increases. But it's very much important to be rational and prepared, because if you're prepared, you can write it out and have a lot of stories to tell on the other side. As with all difficulty, even the worst storm passes. Always remember, you have the power and the wisdom to handle whatever may come your way. And the affirmation for this is, I have the power to overcome any obstacle. No matter what is going on, I can be strong, I can be confident, and I can be self-directed. Storms make us into strong men and women. Storms make us into strong leaders. Storms make us into individuals who understand, what's right, what's wrong, can handle priorities. This is a test, and it's important to sharpen your skills and make sure that you have everything in order before the storm takes place. 37 is third chakra, Archangel Chamuel. Let me see what the further. I actually received it in I think for Aries I received it. Okay, so this is what it says. The powerful Archangel Chamuel is holding a beautiful sphere of golden light at the solar plexus, which is the location of your third chakra and the center of your life force energy. This is a great time to move toward the completion of your desires. Your life force is vibrating with power and resonance, and your soul is calling you to direct your energy in a focused, purposeful manner. This angel of power is with you now, so go for it. You are clearly supported by the divine. The divine is looking out for you. The divine understands everything that is coming, and it is there to help you. I also pulled 2 angels and ancestors cards, and this is what the cards are. Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted, and Hunter, track down your fears and desires. Earth Mother is definitely a reminder that you are loved and that you are supported, which may not always be particularly evident. And what this card means is to allow yourself to be cherished. You may have felt overwhelmed or maybe out of control emotionally, but you are moving back to your natural center that will bring you to the place of clarity and openness. If you have had challenges, maybe with someone in your family, rebuild those energies, clear any ancestral blockages that are preventing you from making important connections in your life. And let's see, Hunter, I want to see what is a further message of this card, which is a very attractive young gentleman. Track down all your fearful thoughts and feelings. When you find them, you will find your desires too. They say that the scariest cave has exactly the prize that you want. So, in order for you to get what it is you want, you have to go into a scary cave and defeat the dragon, i.e. your fear, something that maybe you've lived a traumatic experience in the past. Getting over it is where you need to work on to move on, because it will get you closer to the goals. If you are a man or identify as male, this card represents your masculinity and an opportunity to know yourself more deeply. If you are a female or identify as female, this card represents your capacity to be strong and powerful and overcome limitations. And lastly, I pulled 2 messages from the universe cards, and they are, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. So I think the key to prayer is just to pray, just the action, the prayer itself, the action of praying, the doing of it. And prayers can be, prayers come in all forms. It could just be plain language, kind of talking to yourself, asking, the divine and the spirit to help you. For example, if the storm is coming, I would say, dear divine or divine spirit, please help me face this storm with my courage, with feeling like I can take on anything, something along those lines. It definitely helps your mind work through the problem. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. Sometimes, you do everything, that you think of everything. You prepare, you cross all the T's, you dot all the I's, and then the only thing left to do is just to have faith. And that's really, really important. When your faith is strong, it means you take action when needed. When your faith is strong, it means you are not so passive, that you're active. Faith is a very active thing, and it affects you. And so practicing faith, it's not something that anyone has to know. I think it's a very private thing for many people. So just kind of practicing in your head, believing, in good things will lead you to good things. I absolutely believe that. I hope you do too. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please click like, share, and subscribe. Also, please remember that I'll be doing a follow-up reading a week from now for the second part of July. So definitely return to watch that. Also, feel free to share any comments. I absolutely love feedback. And again, if you did enjoy this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for visiting. I will see you next time.